Take number 763.
Welcome everyone to the Orpha Movement podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm Zach and we're from 5 Doc Osteo in Sydney, Australia.
So, before we get started, we want to just put out a little general disclaimer that this is just general information about movement and health, and it's about sort of distilling all the information out there, but it's not specific information, I should say, to yourself.
Yes, while Scott and I are both fully qualified chiropractors and have lots of patients, just by listening to this podcast does not make you our patient. You're welcome to become our patient, come and see us in the clinic. But if there's something we say, it is not specific advice for you. No patient chiropractor relationship is established, and you should seek your own individual medical advice before you try it.
Definitely. So a local GP or a local healthcare professional that can just look over you, check there's no other underlying conditions, and then give you specific advice to your particular conditions and all symptoms.
Now, after that, this is our first ever podcast.
It is?
Well, technically it's our second. Our first one, we had microphone and camera issues, so we're trying again.
We're hoping to get this one off on a better start, and actually we can put it out there to the world. We're pretty confident we'll be able to after our bit of learning.
We've had more coffee this time, so we should have a bit more energy.
Zach's had more coffee. I thought I should slow down and have a bit less coffee.
And so what we want to do to start off with today is going to be our first podcast, introduce ourselves. You might have seen Scott on all of our Instagram pages and our TikTok.
Oh, I've got them all these days.
And I tend to not be on social media as much, but this is my avenue that I feel comfortable and also want to do. So
yeah, and it's about trying to help people in this way that Zach feels comfortable helping people. So we're going to put together some long form content, just talking about all the different ways that taking all the information out there. Right? There's so much information these days that we find of patients coming in all the time. Like, people don't know, right? They don't know what's the right thing, what's the wrong thing, where to look. Like,
it's too hard.
So much.
It's too hard. If you're on Instagram today and you've got back pain, you're going to find, and you happen to be in the algorithm for exercise, back pain things, like, you're going to find 500 things. And one thing is, I have over 13 years of experience. God has over 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
And with that, we want to try to share the things that we see work, things that we can give you or tell you to do, to distill down all of the information out there, what we see hands-on work with our patients. We have patients from very young, very old, elite athletes, professional sporting teams, amateur athletes, all of the above. And we want to try to distill that knowledge.
Right? Yeah. Simplify it. We
Simple
find
things.
Like over the years, if you look at what gets people the best results, it's keeping things simple and keeping it so it's not overloaded. You don't want to go loading up on giving people, 20 different exercises, and if you do this one followed by this one followed, like, no one does it. No one ever does it. But if you give people simple advice that they can bring into their everyday life, then people get much better results because it's much easier to commit to, right? So,
and that's what we hope to kind of do. We're going to each time we do one. I was going to say week, but it's probably closer to once a month. But eventually we'll get maybe more frequent. Yeah. We'll pick a topic, things like, you're starting a season of whatever your favorite sport is, whether it's soccer, basketball, netball, football, whatever it may be. What are some things for the couple months leading up that might help prevent those injuries that we all get as we're getting older?
And also we'll break it down into different joints. So we can talk about the foot. So at the moment I put on my barefoot shoes because there's difference in types of shoes and they can bring different advantages, different disadvantages to people. So we'll talk about stuff like that. Yeah. We'll talk about knee injuries, hip injuries. We'll talk about how those things all interrelate, and then they could create potentially back pain.
Definitely. And then one of the other things I think gets missed in the Instagram, TikTok, it does come into things, is because they're short videos. Because they're short videos, they want to give you 7 seconds, a minute, break down this one thing, show you 3 exercises you go. And most of the information out there is really good. Some of it's less good, but that's, I hope, not the content creators' fault. It's just they're doing their best too. But what we want to try to do is bring in the whole picture. When we talk about the elite athletes and the professional sports people, they have all day. Yeah. From their goal of waking up to going to bed is the whole day is looking after their body physical health. And that includes
getting
food.
The rest, right? Rest is a big one on
food,
that one.
Rest, nutrition, mental health, and then also just game day focus.
Mindset.
Physical training, the coach, getting all those bits together makes these phenomenal athletes.
Yes.
And then when we see Instagram, we go, I'll do these 5 exercises and hip pain will go away. But that hip pain may be the fact that you're a young mother. You've been sitting in a rocking chair nursing your child for the last 3 hours because they're sick.
Yeah.
Those exercises aren't going to undo sitting in the rocking chair for 3 hours. You're going to get an hour sleep and you're going to be back in that rocking chair.
Yes.
So we want to try to make it so we address the whole person through this podcast.
Right. And looking at all the different aspects of life for all the different types of people, right? Because everyone's different. Everyone's situation in life is different. And if we can give you some information which is either going to point you in the right direction or be a little bit more, enlightening to you so that you can find there's a way forward and there's a pathway forward, then that's what we sort of want to try to achieve, to distill all the information out there into ways that you can actually use it and feel like, you can take some steps forward and maybe, just feel better about your days, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, I think, want to take some of the stress out of it, want to take that anxiety and that self-doubt of what they should be doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure that you should be waking up every morning and doing these 8 hip exercises so you have amazing hips, then going for your run, then eating this exact food because it's going to help you build muscle. And that's great, but
not realistic.
I work full time. I'm a dad of 2 kids. I've got to manage all of those things, working here. Scott's got building a business. He's our business owner and principal chiropractor here. He works probably here 80 hours a week, plus doing all of his video content. We don't have time ourselves, and what we find in the world at the moment is no one has time. And if you do have time, congratulations, well done. I'd love to know your secrets. You can maximize your days and get 4 hours sleep and not give yourself any downtime. There's not many of those people.
And also that's got different stresses associated with it too, right? But if we look at the people who come through our doors, like what they need simple, clear advice, which makes a difference to them on a daily basis, in a way they can actually make a difference on their daily basis, right? So one of the things we're going to talk about is time of day when you do stuff, right? It's not just about giving you the exercise, is if you can get it into a routine and a habit, because you're bringing it into something you're already doing, right? You're not like, okay, let's take your 24-hour day, you got your bit of sleep, but then I want you to carve out another 2 hours to do exercises because that's going to be good for your hip. That's not plausible for most people, and it's not sort of their goal in life, right? Like they've got other interests, other things that they'd like to be doing. So it's like, if you can actually give somebody a routine and say, okay, do this exercise at this time of day. One of our favorite is when you're cleaning your teeth, because it's something you're always going to do, and it's going to take you a couple of minutes, so you can do a couple of exercise. It might be a foot exercise or a hip exercise. We're going to talk about that sort of stuff as well, because if you can bring it into your everyday routine, we find it makes a big difference. People can commit to it a lot easier. And then you just structure it. And then, so we won't just be talking about exercises. So it'll be also just holistic health in terms of things that are going to, that we've found to improve our things. I think one of the topics we'll discuss, and Scott will have to challenge me to start actually doing it, is things like meditation. Things like diet, things like nutrition, how they all can build in. And so within our clinic, I know my focus, I know Scott's focus as well, is you're living your life, you want to enjoy the most of your life. If you haven't heard the term before, there's this growing movement of health span. I think in the US they started calling it Health 3.0. I don't think that's come up into Australia as much. Not as much yet, but it'll get here.
But it's all about, okay, we're all living longer, but what we're seeing with this stressful, sedentary style lifestyle is that the quality of life isn't necessarily improving. We're getting people with more injuries. And then also the advice is changing. Once upon a time, a 65-year-old had greater limitations than a modern 65-year-old. 65 is very young. But once upon a time, 65, you got told something hurts, you got told to, rest, you're older now. But now we all know how young
science,
you are.
Right? Yeah, with the beauty of science, with the research and everything that's getting done, right? The information that we have about how the human body works and about how we can actually have quality of life for such a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Like, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And however, it's a lot of information.
And there's always something someone can do if you're willing. Now, we've got 80, I don't think we have any currently active 90-year-old patients with it.
We have one 90-year-old patient.
190. But quite a few 80-year-olds, lots of 7-year-olds who are all trying to take their steps to better themselves, keep themselves fit, keep themselves going. They want to travel, they want to do all these things. And then we have 20-year-old patients who want to be the fit 70 and 80-year-old patients. And so if we can start making that change young, we can have that focus. So it's that whole health span focus going from there. So that's the goal of the podcast?
100%. That's the goal, is to give you quality of life throughout your whole life, and to also encourage you that if you do have a problem, there are ways forward. And also, it's never too late to start.
Yeah, definitely.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because if I make a joke. Hopefully, people don't find it too bad a bad taste, but we'll edit it out. We'll see if it makes it to post. It's not too late until about 2 weeks after you've passed away.
I haven't heard that one, but okay.
So because the patients go, oh, but Zach, I'm 80, I can't do that. So, well, what can you do?
Yeah, you can always do something,
There's always something to start. And now, obviously, there's a stage where you can't do things, which is where my joke comes from. But up until that point, there's always something you can do. As simple as if you find it hard to hold things, squeezing hands. That is an exercise. Doing it once, if you don't use your hands often, would make your hands sore.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, I did one today. Well done. And then we build from there.
Well, that's the point. The point is that there's always a way in. There's always a way to get started. And it doesn't matter how simple and how small that way is, you can always build on it. And it doesn't matter how old you are and how much you haven't used your body or haven't looked after yourself. There's always a way in. And once you get started, it can always be built to something which is way more amazing and something that improves your quality of life, but also just makes you feel good, really.
And then why we'll focus on exercise and movement is there's more and more literature, more and more research, more and more just anecdotal evidence of everyone walking around fit in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s is, yes, aside from accidents, genetic illnesses, things like that, if we can keep our body moving, if we can keep our body strong, it helps everything. We see one of the biggest things they see with dementia changes and things like that is if you've got leg strength. Because if you've got leg strength, you can walk. Walking means you can go out and socialize. It gets the blood flow moving. So it's not just, oh, this is an exercise podcast, I don't want to do exercise.
It's all the dynamics, right? It's the dynamics
if you've got a parent at home suffering from dementia.
Yeah, but also it's mental health, right? Yeah. Movement helps mental health. Movement helps every aspect of your life.
One of the number one prescriptions, I think, I'd have to check, but I think Scotland and Japan, they do like the forest bathing and the forest walking. They go, well, you're stressed, you're anxious, you're depressed. Yes, here's some medication, we can help you.
Yep.
But like I've seen it, they write on a piece of paper, go walk in the hills. So they have to go walking outside, which does make a difference. If it's raining, indoor counts.
It does.
Go walk outside, move around, and we see that is one of the most powerful mental health treatments.
Yep. The power of movement, right? Yeah. How that movement changes your hormone levels and changes your stress levels, and then the effects on your mental clarity, mental happiness, mental joy, and then that also then flows back through the body. So then you want to do it, and it starts to help create better behaviors and better. And then, sorry, I shouldn't say better behaviors, right? Just healthy behaviors that can benefit your quality of life.
And that's we want to try to be. It's good. Scott caught himself because we don't want this to feel like judgment or like you should feel bad about yourself. Everyone should only just be able to do what they can do. And this is where
we see so many people, right? And it's like that's one of the important things, which is I think important we should discuss, right? Is that everyone's at a different part of their journey in life, and it doesn't matter where that part is. We can help to actually get you moving. And that's what's important to us. It's important to us is like how to actually make a positive impact on a person's day, and then on their quality of life, and then all the people around them because they're feeling better. It doesn't matter where they're starting from.
No,
that's irrelevant.
And that's why I think we'll break down things like knee injuries, knee health, hip injuries, hip health, and we'll try to talk about broad conditions rather than specific things. Things that, because you don't always need interventions, but there's things that you can do at home to screen, go, oh, that doesn't feel right. Maybe that's your trigger to go seek some professional help to get that sorted. Maybe there is a couple things that after talking to your GP you could try that would maybe help that knee health. Because sometimes the limitations we hear is, Zach, I can't go for a walk because I have a sore knee.
Yeah, let's do an example. Let's say I'm I'm 55 years old. Zach, I'm 55 years old.
He's younger today.
I'm actually not. I'm 35. I sit at a desk all day. I get the bus to work. I don't really do a lot of work walking. I could be sitting at my computer for 8 hours because I just get busy and things go. But I'm finding my knee really hurts. Like if I try to walk up a stair, it's really difficult these days. I've got to do stuff with the kids and everything. So let's go through, like, where would we start with that?
Well, the simple thing for that is assuming no historic sporting injuries, no fractures, no ligament tears, things like that. We're just talking about an achy, older knee than it was when it was 30 or 20.
I'm deconditioned because I haven't moved much. I've just been spending a lot of time. I've been working for 25 years and I've maybe even 30 years, and I've just done a lot of sitting.
And so that's what we think about. We break down what you've been doing, because what the body's really amazing at doing, and it's always adapting to the
100%.
influences we give it. Now,
And it adapts in minutes, right? Like it's not a long period of time.
If I sat down for an 8-hour workday, my lower back and hips would be killing me. Because one of the things I love about my job is the fact that I get to get up, move, stand around. I'm not good at sitting still. You probably already noticed.
He's not good at sitting still.
But with that, the person who's been sitting there for 40 hours plus a week, plus they drive or transport to and from work.
Yeah, getting the bus.
They get home. Let's say they're sitting for dinner, sitting on the couch to watch TV. Maybe they're doing more work on the laptop.
Yep.
Their knee is used to being in a relatively 90-degree position.
Yes.
It doesn't like stretching and extending. Now, when we stand up at a walk, so the knee won't be so much the picture, but the ankle isn't getting any work.
Yep.
So the Achilles and the ankle get stiff, the foot gets stiff. A lot of shoes are very constrictive, so the foot gets that. So therefore, if there's no flexibility in the feet, suddenly the knee has to account for the flexibility there. And then we come into the hips. The hips are stuck in this 90-degree position.
Yep.
Rather than an upright, they're obviously going to be straight in a 180 or a 0, it depends which way you want to measure it from. And to stand, why we have these big, strong glutes, they're what's given us our unique ability in the animal kingdom to stand upright.
Yep.
That shape of the pelvis and the shape of the glute and its attachment is able to pull us upright.
And the key is it keeps us stable, right?
Yeah.
In that upright position, you have stability because of those big muscles.
But when you're sitting, your glutes turn off.
Yep.
Within 7 seconds, nervous system activity decreases. Within 7 minutes, it just switches off. And the reason why it switches off, because everything has a agonist-antagonist position. So simple example, bicep, tricep.
Yep.
For my bicep to contract, my tricep has to lengthen.
It has to relax. It has to
relax.
Otherwise, it'll stop your arm going that direction.
So if I tell my arm to stay in this position all day, the bicep is in charge of keeping that tight. And then the tricep has to be in this more relaxed position.
Yeah.
So then if I go to extend my arm, I tell my tricep to extend, what happens is the bicep starts to atrophy, or the nervous signal, it just starts maintaining energy, so it stays shortened. So the tricep can't push back against it. And that happens in our hip joints, where our glutes, even if they do switch on and we try, we're so tight through the front, they can't overwhelm it.
Yep.
So then we go up and down stairs, which is meant to be, yes, your quads are going to be involved, but the glutes are going to drive that through. Anyone's done some squats and you feel those glutes driving through, that's what's meant to help drive through that movement. But it also, if you do squats and you can't feel it in your glutes, unfortunately you're doing them wrong. The quad's taking over, which puts all that pressure on the knee.
Yep.
And you're losing the stability. So it's not even that the knee's the problem. It's that below it we have really stiff ankles.
Yes.
Above it we have really stiff and inactive hips.
Yep.
So therefore the knees are doing all the work. And
so I'm going to take that just for a second, because that was really good. And that's the sort of stuff we're going to talk about. However, there was a lot of technical stuff in there as well. So we're going to break it down into something a little bit simpler, which is basically your ankle joint moves a lot. Your knee joint's more of a stable joint, doesn't move as much. Your hip joint moves a lot. When you've been in one position for a long period of time and over the years, your brain starts to go, well, this is my normal position.
Yes.
So this is what I get good at.
Yeah.
But anything else around that, it's not as good at. So it's a bit weaker, a bit tighter, because of the way the muscles and the joints and everything work to make you be able to do what you want to be able to do. So then it's about, how do we counteract that?
Well, the simplest way, that's the amazing thing about the body. If we give it something else to do, it will adapt to that. So
And how does that happen?
how does the adaptation
in
change?
the brain, how's it figure it out? Like what happens? So like if I'm sitting at home now, I'm thinking, this is really stiffing through my front of my hip. Like how do I actually get it to move? Like if it's causing me my knee pain, how do I get it moving?
Well, you can start with simple exercises in terms of stretches and things like that to start giving that muscle tissue some movement. Because
what does that do?
Because when you move the muscle, it engages the brain.
Yep.
Because the nervous system and the brain connects to that muscle. So as that muscle moves, there's a signal switch in the muscle, a nerve receptor. So basically, as that muscle moves, it's sending information from the muscle to the brain saying, hey, I moved. Now the brain's asking it to move because it's asking to stand up. But when you're going for a walk, you're not sitting there and coordinating every little movement. You're asking the legs to move.
Automated, right?
So if stretching, if you can't, walking is too hard, just giving something that starts to move that hip joint in any way that's not in a fixed position. And that starts to add blood flow, which starts to help build the tissue, because muscle tissue will rebuild itself every 2 weeks. So if you start moving that, within 2 weeks, your muscles will be more used to movement because you're getting blood flow. The muscle tissue is regenerating and starting to be something that's familiar with movement. The nervous system is starting to get all this movement feedback because you're asking it to do a task, and then that's feeding back into itself.
Yeah.
And then so that then hits the joints, the tendons, the ligaments, things like that. They tend to get a bit stiff. Ligaments themselves change every 3 weeks, and that's where the arthritis and the pressure on the bone comes in. But now we get joint fluid, so that little bit of extra movement, it just again little bits of movement. Suddenly the nerves in the area are changing. Your brain's perception, so proprioception is a word you'll hear me say a lot, which is your body's awareness of that joint position. What position is your finger in? We all watch Olympics, or right now the World Cup's on that you can timestamp us.
Yes.
Those elite athletes, one of the things that's so amazing about it is their proprioception. So when they kick a ball in the football or a gymnast flips, they're aware of where their body is in space. They know where every part of their body is, those top athletes. The rest of us, not so much.
But that's just because you don't use it. So the messages coming from the body aren't coming back to the brain, telling you or telling yourself where you are in space as much. Whereas with an elite athlete, it is more. So one of the cool things from what Zach was just saying is that when you start to move, it's actually multidimensional. It's not actually just one thing. It's not just the muscle.
No.
Because the muscle is one part, but then the nervous system's another part. Then the blood flow to that, the fluid movement in and around through the joints.
Yes.
So the movement actually has more than one effect. It's not just about
it's going to
working
improve.
a muscle.
It's going to improve the bone health. So one of the things, another one that's coming through is a lot of the osteoporosis stuff and osteopenia work that's coming in is if we see people doing heavy athletic activities in their 20s and 30s, and particularly women, the study was based on, bone health in their 20s, 30s is a bone health in their 70s. And what happens is even if you're in your 60s, 50, 60s, 70s, and you start to in that risk groups of weaker bones, expressing load across the bone with weight-bearing exercise, more than weight-bearing exercises and running and impact type stuff, start gentle. This is not specific advice.
Always start gentle, right?
With those things.
Yeah.
The bone remodels.
Yes.
So the muscle will remodel, the ligaments remodel, the tendons remodel, the bone remodels. But then the biggest picture of it all is the brain remodels.
Yes, and that's the key, right?
The brain's awareness of that hip will change.
Yeah.
You actually get a greater density of neurons in the brain around that hip.
Neurons are being just the nerves, right? Yeah, the nerves that are going down there.
There's individual components of the brain.
Yeah, because there's millions of nerves in your body, right? So that when Zach was talking about proprioception before, right? That's throughout your whole body, everywhere. And every second of the day, your brain is receiving information from your whole body about what's happening in your body. So be it your heart, be it your stomach, be it your knee joint, be it your shoulder joint, be it your hand. It's constantly sending information.
I always thought with patients, a great one for kind of proprioception and how your brain can ignore it. Because it doesn't make sense. Why would my brain ignore my hip? Clothes.
Yeah.
If you put clothes on, first thing in the day, especially if you never worn clothes, but like if you're wearing pajamas, you're wearing less clothing, you put it on, your body feels the clothes.
Yeah.
Because every hair, every part of your skin starts to feel the clothes. But then it becomes normal that you're wearing them, so you forget you have clothes on.
Yeah. So
you're not feeling the clothes because that sensation hasn't changed.
Yes.
Now, if I rub my chest with the shirt on it, now I can feel that part way more, and it's actually really annoying. But it's the same thing.
It's your brain weighs up, right? What's important. And it's like if this becomes less important because it's not changing, it's just staying the same, then it'll weigh up. Well, I can talk to you more about what's happening over here. Yeah. But it doesn't mean the information isn't coming in, right? No. The information is always coming in.
You just ignore it. And so with the hips, it just your brain starts to tell it. The brains are saying brain's saying don't move. The hips are like, we're not moving. And the brain goes, good, stay there. And then if you don't give it a change, if the brain doesn't give yourself a task to change it, then muscles go, okay, the last cue I had was stay there.
Yes.
So they stay there.
And they can stay there for years.
And you got to stand up and you can't because you're not breaking it down in your control of those areas and the stability of those areas.
Yeah. And that's a key word, right? Because like when we look at the patients, you can have physical strength. But physical strength doesn't equate to things working perfectly or working as well as they could, right? It's about how the brain or how the body is creating stability through the different actions. That's something we'll talk about a lot, right?
Stability, when your body has stability, it'll give you the range of motion, the mobility. The flexibility comes from stability. Yeah. Well, technically flexibility, a different conversation for a different day.
We'll do a podcast about that one too.
But yeah, so that is about our intro, what we're going to talk about.
Yes, so the basic message, the take home for us is, right, it's going to be really simple sort of stuff. It's going to be distilling all the information that's out there, the sort of stuff we talk to people about on a daily basis, and the people like we've noticed over the years, the questions that come more to us these days is like people are more aware.
Definitely. And if you are one of the one or two people who might listen to this first one. Hopefully there's more than that. And you think of a good question that you want answered that you haven't seen.
Drop a question in the
comments.
Drop
a question in the comments, write it down there. Any good questions that we come through, we want to be able to help those and try to distill what we think about them, what our knowledge. And again, it's our personal opinions. There's always a variety of opinions upon everything in the world. Healthcare and exercise is definitely a quagmire with opinions.
100%.
These is our professional opinions, and it's all going to be based off what we think works.
What we see works.
And what we see works.
And what things we do notice,
what
right,
works
is
the simplest.
Yeah. And
what's the 80-20 rule? What's the 20% of things that work and do 80% of the work? Because if we give you 100 exercises for you to do every day and you go for a walk 45 minutes, you sleep 9.5 hours a day, that's just too much. You're not going to really need those little bits. But if you only have 20 minutes,
what's going to be most effective?
What's the best thing you can do in that 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Any movement just is the secret answer. But there is things that are going to help you better.
You're not meant to give away the secret at the start.
But yeah, so before we finish up, I wanted to finish up with a couple of questions just about us, so you can get to know us a little bit better. So Scott, where are you from?
So I was born in Queensland, in Australia, obviously. Then we lived on a farm for a long time. And
also, to date, it's just we're state of origin night tonight.
We are
go
state
the Blues.
Of origin night tonight. Definitely go Queensland. Always Queensland.
Game 2, Blues are going to win the series.
Born and bred in Queensland. No chance. But you know what? I'll let you live the dream for the day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I will be wearing maroon again because...
Hey, no, last time we have an ongoing, very, very serious bet. That whichever team wins, we have to wear that team's colours. Yeah. Two weeks ago, when Queensland lost, Scott was so sad. He wore black.
I was ironing my maroon shirt when we were up 18-0, and then I had to wear black because that.
It was
in
the morning.
Hurt. Yeah, as a Queenslander, it hurt. Yeah. How about yourself? Where were you born?
I actually was born in the US. Born in Los Angeles.
How long did you live in LA before you moved back to Australia? So obviously your family's from Australia.
Yes, so family is Australian. We're over there for Dad's work. So I was actually back here in Australia by the time I was 1.5, which is why you can tell my loveliest American accent. And then I was back there and I did my schooling. So I did from year 2 all the way through to year 6 in Los Angeles, Claremont, if you know where that is or happen to be listening from there.
Yes.
Unlikely, but
hopefully
well done.
Somebody is.
Welcome.
Yes. Thank you for listening.
But then back to Australia and did all of my high school and university here.
And what made you get into being a chiro?
Well, first, I think the first memory I have as a chiro is my mother always had neck pain and headaches. And we'd go to see a chiro here in Australia and she, you'd just see how much help that gave her. So I thought that was amazing. I thought, how can I help people? I've always liked helping people.
Yep.
On top of that, he drove a really nice car and had pictures of him racing motorcycles on the wall. And as a kid as a kid and adult, that's still pretty impressive and cool.
You do have a nice car.
And then on top of that, I played a lot of sports, was reasonably high level competitive swimmer for a while there. And my body kept breaking down. I kept ending with knee injuries, hip injuries, shoulder issues, most of it from me doing silly stuff. And then when I ended up getting knee surgery, but then I'd go see surgeons, physios, chiros, things like that. And I wasn't getting the answers. I had one really amazing chiro who he actually gave me some more time of day and gave me more of those answers. But a lot of the time they just go, oh no, it's just because. And then it didn't really sit right with me. I wanted to know why. I wanted to know why. And because I didn't get better. The knee injury I had on my left knee, I had at age 14. It probably wasn't until I was about 25 that it finally went away. Finally all the stiffness around that knee just disappeared.
Yep.
We'll tell you about how I did that. So that information, wanting to help people, but wanting to help myself.
Yes.
And then once I figured out how to help myself, I wanted to go, how can I then give that knowledge to other people?
Makes sense.
How can I go, this stuff isn't as, I like to try to break it down so it's not that complicated, so that you can go and look after yourself.
And that's the thing, right? That's important because things are so complicated these days. There's so much like this podcast is going to be about, right? But that's how you got onto this journey, and mine's not much different.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about yourself?
My mum used to always go to see a chiropractor up in Queensland for headaches and stuff. And I did a lot of sport growing up as well, across all the different levels of sport. And anyone who got fixed used to go and see a chiro. And I like helping people, and it was something where you could get in and make a positive influence, a positive effect on a person, and be able to, help people in a different way and get to be hands-on. Because I don't think I'd like sitting at a desk all day. Like I really enjoy our job where we're up and about doing things.
If you ever want to see Scott cranky, well, probably not cranky, but if he's had to be sitting doing admin, paperwork, website, blogging, all these things, which he's really good at doing.
All the fun stuff in business.
My job is to focus on doing more patients and less of those things because I don't like sitting still. If he's been sitting there for a couple of hours, he's not cranky, but he definitely is like, you need to stand up, you need to move, you need to treat a patient, you need to talk to someone.
Moving's good, right? Like all day when you're moving around, like yes, it's tiring, but the positive effects on your body over time is great, right? So I think one of the things when I was younger, like that was big for me, is not sitting at a desk all day because I just don't think I'd enjoy it, and I know now I wouldn't enjoy it. So it was also a way to be able to help people, be active, be meeting and doing different things on a daily basis, and it always had a positive impact on me. Whenever I hurt myself playing sport, I would always get fixed up by the chiro. You never sort of missed any game time or anything, so it was always a positive experience, and
That's good.
It was always just good, right? So it's like as we're young, those things shape us.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think for both of us, right, we've been real fortunate that then has turned into a career where we can actually get fulfillment out of helping other people. And
it's rare that I think we're both very blessed, and it's really awesome that we get to come to a job that we love.
Yeah,
every day is a good day.
It's not even a job.
Well, that's the thing.
It's fun.
If you ever had I'd probably say fortune, but it's probably unfortunate of meeting me out and about at parties, social gatherings and things like that. As soon as someone goes, I love talking about it. I work all day doing it. You find me on a Thursday afternoon, you ask me the right question, and then you'll be like, Zach, it's been an hour and a half. Can I go?
This is actually true.
It's one of those things that it's a big passion of mine in terms of I find it fascinating. I love it.
That's what you want in a
career,
career,
want to help patients.
Right?
So therefore, every day of work is fun.
Yeah, and that's why the place we work, we're very fortunate that it's a really nice place to work.
Oh, it's beautiful.
We can create that energy because we both just enjoy, and everyone who works here just enjoys helping people, and it gives us all an opportunity to actually just be able to help people. And I think
the last little bit of things is if you aren't in Sydney, can't see us, that's fine. I'm sure there's amazing people wherever you are. We don't. I myself not specific saying you have to find a chiro or anyone. I just want you to find someone who cares about you.
They have that passion, right? They have the
someone
passion
who
of helping and
finds it fascinating, can't stop talking about it, but then actually cares about you. If you
looks a bit deeper, right?
Health care is about caring for the person's health.
Yep.
Unfortunately, in our busy world and things like that, everyone in healthcare got into the job for that purpose, and they are still trying their best. But a lot of it is shorter. It's busier.
Yeah.
It's hard to care in shorter those types. So finding someone who takes some more time to care about you, and that way you can get your best benefits out of your healthcare providers.
Yeah. So we hope you tune into some more of our podcasts. We're going to keep putting them out there, and just information, like we said, to help people in different ways. And we're just going to keep it simple. So enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for listening. Go have some coffee. We'll do a bonus podcast about coffee one day.
We're very good at making coffee. We're trained baristas right here.
Self-taught, but I do like coffee.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.